it's beginning to look a lot like a certain holiday that I don't want to say because anyone can celebrate any holiday they want. But it's beginning to look a lot like that certain holiday.
Mm.
And I just want you to put yourself in the beautiful shoes of an employee, a manager of a bookstore, a local bookstore.
Ooh, okay.
And it's like those type of bookstores, you know, when you walk in and you're like, this is a mom and pop shop.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell there's so much love here. There's so much good energy, you know, and you just love working here, okay? Love it. But your coworker, dude, if you and your coworker were caught in the same room at the same time, you're swinging.
Really?
You're swinging, dude.
Okay.
You don't like this man at all.
What did he do to me?
That you just hate him. Okay, just imagine someone you really hate. Oh, but he did once a very long time ago. The first time he met was just like, hey, I'm the business and finance of this establishment, and I want to do things this way, not the way you're doing it. And also, I don't like how you do this, this, and this. Kind of like a micromanager in a bit. Like, so, like...
That does seem annoying.
It has never, like, physically hurt you or, like, been outwardly mean about anything about you. But just, you can tell that both of you clash with work ethics.
We're just different?
You're just different.
Okay.
But, also, he's hot.
That's very important.
That's very important in coworkers. That's actually
the number
in the hiring force.
That's the number one thing I'm looking for.
It's like mugshots. Like, okay, ready? Ding. Ding. they get every side, but he's hot. He's also your age. And, you know, you...
It seems like a perfect match.
It does seem like a perfect match, but... You also really like this guy that you've been talking to online. So what do you do? Because this guy that you met online, he like reads the same books as you, gets it. You've been talking every single day since you've met. 6 months.
But do I know what he looks like?
No, it doesn't matter though.
But it does.
No, it does not.
It does.
No, it's Mr. Reddit.
Are they my age?
Yes, they are. They are your age.
Well, how do I know for sure? What if I'm being catfished?
But he's nice and he read Pride and Prejudice for you.
No, he read the other one.
Oh, yeah, you're right. The Sense and Sensibility.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but, like, aren't you down? Like, why thirst over a coworker that's hot when there's someone who is clearly also interested in you?
Wait, so is that my major conflict?
Yeah, that's your major conflict. Oh, also, by the way, the bookstore's closing.
What the fuck? Wait, I'm jobless? Wait, do I have a job?
You have a job at the bookstore, but oops, there's another bookstore called Potter Books. It's like one of those like bookstores that used to be mom and pop, but they're taking shit over and just getting all like
modern.
You know what the problem is? Okay.
They're using ebooks.
They're like, oh yeah, you know, close our ebooks.
Don't look at this.
Yeah, they're like Audible type shit. Audible, but
wait, we're not sponsored by them.
Not sponsored, but I love
Bleep
them.
that out.
So like you know, you're freaking out. You don't want to lose your job, clearly, and there's no other way to like fix this financial issue because you're not making enough money. Not even with the coworker who like got hired because he's really good at dealing with financial issues. Why ask that bitch? So even if he's hot. So you're like, I got a big brain idea, brain blast, Jimmy Neutron type shit. And you're like, what if we compete and whoever sells the most books gets to stay?
But can't you just...
No.
Wait, hold on.
I love you so much.
Logically,
but you can't.
logically speaking, though...
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I punched your boob.
Wait, does it make sense though? Is Mima and Peepaw agreeing to this stipulation of?
They don't know about it.
Wait.
No, you decided to do this.
Why can't we both just?
Two hot people can't exist in one realm. It's mathematically and scientifically impossible. One of you has to go.
Okay.
Oh, but also you guys kiss.
What about Mr. Reddit?
You know what? No. It's just too much. You know, it's
too
just
much.
But I think this book can fix your life.
Okay.
Are you ready for this journey with me?
I'm ready.
Welcome to the Book Fix Podcast, a podcast that fixes lives one book at a time. I am your host, Cheli.
And I'm your host, Yajaira.
And we've got a Mistletoe Motive today.
We really do.
The Mistletoe Motive by Chloe Liese.
Yes, that's the book we're going to be discussing today.
I've never heard of this book. Ever. Before you.
Oh, okay.
So there was before you and there was after you, quote that shit.
Oh, thanks. Okay.
Oh my god.
Also, I just want to bring up that there is a playlist included with this book, which I know, Cheli, you love this shit.
Okay, so first of all, if you're watching on YouTube.
You didn't show the last cover.
I know, but this cover. Dude, I'm so down for the colors of this cover. It's basically a drawn cover. The mistletoe motives on top, and it's just a bunch of books on the bookshelf, and them reaching for the same book because they love each other, bitch. Oh, God.
Okay, they look very much in love in that cover.
Yeah, I mean, I told Yajaira that she looks cute.
Yeah.
The guy does not look attractive.
Don't be rude.
But his contour is kind of fire.
It is. Oh my god, he does have a contour.
His contour is kind of fire.
Do you see that jawline? Do you see that? Can cut you right there.
Yeah, but I'm just like not feeling it. I don't think he's attractive. Okay. But beautiful cover. I was so down scrolling through my ebook, and all of a sudden I see a fucking playlist. Did you listen to it?
No.
Me neither. I think Christmas music kind of makes me scream.
Me too.
Oh my god, are we the Grinches?
We're the Grinches
that stole Christmas. Oh,
there's
my gosh.
Some Christmas songs that are okay, but overall I don't really like Christmas
I wasn't really down to, because the author wrote, you don't have to listen to the music, but if you want to like really feel this book in all of your senses, then I recommend to listen to it depending on which one was mentioned at the beginning of the chapter. But all of them are Christmas music. And I don't want to listen to fucking Santa Baby while they're fucking. So like,
what? Okay.
Santa Baby. No, I'm like not down.
I don't know.
Let me put some music to put you in the mood. It's like, you're a mean one.
Mr. Grinch. Damn, babe. How'd you know this song got me going?
I can't. So, let's go ahead and talk about our two main characters. And first, we're going to talk about our main girl, whose name?
Gabriella. Or
Gabriella.
Gabby.
Gabriella.
Or Gabby.
Yeah, Gabby. She is 25. Doesn't matter.
23?
No, I think she's 25. I don't know. She's pretty young. She has worked at this bookstore for a pretty long time. And one thing she really likes about this store is that they're super
lenient on allowing her to give her touches. Because I remember when she mentioned when she applied there, it felt very like stiff. And she added a lot of life into it. So she likes to decorate, and she likes to, I don't know, like I think that she gives the bookstore a lot of soul.
Yeah, she does. But then also the managers, because this bookstore is called Bailey's Bookstore. So the people that own it is a couple. Their names are the Baileys. And the Baileys are also very, very supportive to her needs because she does have autism. She's on the spectrum. So they're very aware of that and are willing to like kind of let her work the way that she's comfortable with. So she has like noise canceling headphones. She doesn't really like interactions unless it's geared by like something she already likes. So that's why a bookstore is like perfect for her. And they're super understanding with like, you know, because she does sometimes get, I don't know if you would call it sensory overload, but she gets overwhelmed multiple times. They're very, very understanding of that. So this is the perfect job for her.
So the idea of not working here is kind of like detrimental for her.
Yeah.
She's not very good with change.
Okay, but also there's another person who works here.
Who's unfortunately named Jonathan. God damn it.
I didn't realize that they were both Christmas stories we read are two Jonathans.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. His name is Jonathan Frost. What do you feel about the name?
We would have called him Frost. She should have just called him Frost.
She does. They go by each other's last names.
No, but like at all times.
At all times.
Like forever,
Frost.
even when you're not mad at him.
He's a very cold character. Never smiles at work. Is always just silently judging her, or will make little comments. Because there was a point where she came in and she was holding her drink, and he was like, "You're 4 minutes late to drink your expensive expensive chocolate milk." She was like, "It's hot cocoa, bitch, with peppermint, because I love a kick." Like, you could just tell immediately that they just butt heads a lot. But she's also like physically attracted to him, and it's weird to her because she's demisexual. So the way that she feels attraction is like you have to have a connection and a bond with someone before you feel an attraction to them.
So it's weird to her that she's already feeling that attraction, where she's like, "Oh my god, wait, what is this? Why am I turned on right now? It's weird." But in the beginning, doesn't he like get her cookies or makes cookies or something?
Yeah.
And she's just like,
why
skeptical over it. She's like, "Are you trying to poison me, you bitch?" And he's like, "No."
Is it weird that I want to bring cookies?
And she thinks it's very weird. In the beginning, she gets this huge bouquet of flowers. And I thought it was kind of cute that Jonathan immediately is like, "Who gifted you flowers when you can't handle like strong fragrances?" And she's over here sneezing, and she's just like, "What the fuck? How do you know that?" And so they just throw away the bouquet, and he's like, "Ugh, it's your boyfriend, isn't it?
Your
that
terrible ass boyfriend ass bitch."
That bitch.
And then there's a card that says like, "Babe, I want you back," because they haven't. This boyfriend, whose name is Trey, is an ex-boyfriend and was actually asked to date her because he's Trey Potter, the son of the people who own Potter Books. And they told him, date that girl to get that inside scoop, which is the most evil thing I've ever heard. What are you going to get from her?
Stupid. It's like,
yeah, we clocking at 7. Oh my God. Mom, like, you got to know this shit.
We got to be there at 6 a.m. sharp. I felt like that was stupid, though. It doesn't make any sense. Like, why do you need an inside scoop?
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like they were already doing okay, no?
They were fine, but that was just like a thing.
But it's weird because he became like obsessed with her. He like really, really liked her. And so when she figured out that he was just using her, she immediately broke it off and was like, "I never want to see you again." But he would constantly text her and call her.
And also the one who pointed out that she was being used was Jonathan.
Yeah.
So he noticed it before her. And when she got all the flowers, he kept making comments like, "Wow, your boyfriend's so inconsiderate, whatever." And she was like, "You know what, Frost ass bitch? I broke up with him 6 months ago. So
keep up.
You should know this, but also you shouldn't know this because fuck you." But you know, she said that, and he was like completely like speechless, and she was shocked because it's like, I've never seen this man speechless before in my life, so this is weird. But yeah, that's kind of how it starts with them. She goes home. It's so fucking funny to me that every single night in this book, she keeps having wet dreams about him, and it's like, girl, you okay?
Yeah. That's a question I wanted to ask you. Okay. How do you feel about dreams in books?
I mean, in this book, I didn't really mind it because it's whatever. You know, it didn't affect where the story was headed. It just showed you how, like, she thought, basically.
Yeah.
And the fact that she felt like she couldn't control it, and how she would stop from listening to, like, Regency music. Because it would, like, I guess.
But she would still see him there. I got kind of confused, though, because in the very, very beginning, she doesn't mention Mr. Reddit. So when she finally mentions him, it kind of felt like weird because she's over here having wet dreams about Jonathan.
Yeah.
But she's falling in love with Mr. Reddit.
Yeah, I wish that Mr. Reddit would have came up at the very beginning of the book.
Yeah, like she's like texting him or something.
Because she has this guy that she met on a Reddit book thread, and she was getting called out, and he defended her, and then they just started talking every single day. And they've never met. They don't know what they look like. They don't know who is who. But she's kind of falling for this guy.
Yeah.
And she, like, imagines... Because she brought up she used to have wet dreams about Mr. Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
But then when Jonathan was in her life, it started to be about Jonathan, and she's like, no, that can't be it because Mr. Reddit is the one.
Mm-hmm.
So Mr. Reddit and her are having a conversation about romance books because he doesn't read any.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, okay, well, what are your favorite books? And she gives him a list. And it kind of just ends there.
Mm-hmm.
So then when they go back to the bookstore, there's a whole ass meeting. Like I told you at the very beginning, there's a meeting that there's a possibility that Bailey's bookstore is not going to be open after New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's going to take some Christmas miracle to keep this place open. So you guys decide what you want to do, but
and
we're going to be making cuts.
She's immediately like stressed because first of all, she didn't even know about the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And the Baileys were like, didn't Jonathan tell you? We told him to tell you. And then she admits to herself like, okay, if he would have told me, I would have just been fixated on this for the whole week. So kind of glad that he didn't tell me, but it's also suspicious that he didn't tell me. But she is stressed over this because she feels like he's more useful than her, or she thinks that he is like the embodiment of all of the things that she can't bring to the table.
Yeah.
And so she's threatened by him, and so she feels like, oh my god, if any one of us is gonna get fired, it's probably gonna be me.
So then she comes up with the idea like, you know what? I don't want to get fired. So why don't we do like a competition? Whoever does the most book sales until the end of December gets to stay. Mm-hmm. And he's like, what the? I didn't.
It was so random, right? Because he was like, that wasn't really the strategy that I thought we were going to do, but okay.
But it's kind of true to people who are on the spectrum. Speaking as like an outside perspective, with like I've worked with people who are on the spectrum. Sometimes when they don't have like, or sometimes when people who are on the spectrum don't have a definite like goal or finish line, sometimes making up a goal makes it easier to get through it.
Yeah, it seemed like she was very reliant on like routines. But
it's funny because that goal was set by her, and by like throughout the book she's like, I hate this is so stressful, and Jonathan was like, you made that. Like I didn't want to quit, you don't want to quit. And he even says it at the beginning, like, if we both end up doing well and this bookstore is doing well, can't we just both stay? And she's like, I mean, yeah, I guess I could write that in.
I guess I could change it, but I don't really want to. I'm lazy over here.
But yeah, they have like this whole thing where they have to sell the most books.
How did you feel about that? What were your thoughts?
I thought that was going to play more into the story, but it didn't. They really only talked about it twice, and that was it. I wish there would have been like a tally mark.
I kind of wish that the tally mark would have been
at the beginning of the chapters, like you can see how many they've sold.
I kind of wish that this would have come from the Baileys instead. Like maybe they could have been like, you know what? I'm not sure who we should keep, but you're both great.
Doesn't it kind of feel both. Like the Baileys did not do anything for their establishment?
No, not at all.
You would think they would stay there.
And then also, they were very reluctant to become more modern. But they realized that the other bookstore was doing well, so they were like, okay, what can we do? Because we got to save our bookstore.
Damn. I didn't even think about the fact that, like, really that competition has nothing to do with the story.
Yeah.
That's so infuriating because I like the idea of it.
Doesn't the competition correlate with the title of this book?
Yes.
What is the Mistletoe Motive, Cheli? What does that mean?
Okay, well, let me try my best to remember. So there was a mistletoe in, like, going into the back room, right? So it's like a door you always have to crash into. And before we get there, don't we really have to talk about their first kiss, right? Because they go, oh my God. Gabby and Eli, which is her roommate, do like this book event because Eli has written a children's book. And because Eli did this, then Eli's like, you owe me. You got to go to the hockey game that my boyfriend's playing at. So she's like, I bet. So Gabby and Eli go to the hockey game, and who the fuck is playing? Jonathan Frost. And he looks really good doing it. And he like goes all out during this hockey game that even Luke, which is Eli's boyfriend, goes like, who are you trying to impress out there? Damn. And it's funny, I really think it's cute that everyone that Jonathan knew would be like, Gabby, wait a minute, isn't that? And he's like, shut up.
She's like, shut the fuck up.
I thought that was
Didn't
cute.
he like drop his bag on Luke's feet?
Yeah.
I was like, shut up, Luke.
But
I thought that was really cute too.
But Jonathan is there, and so is Gabby. And I think that's the first time he calls her Gabby, and she's like, whoa.
Gabby.
I don't like the way that makes me feel.
That's Gabriella to you.
So then Gabby wants to go home, and Jonathan's like, I'm going home. I could drive you home. It's a 30-minute drive, and they go in the car, and he eats 2 pieces of candy and just looks at his phone quietly for a bit. And she's just like, oh, my God.
She's offended. Candy? Isn't she also offended, though, that he's, like, ignoring her?
Yeah. So, but she's just shocked, too, because, like, you're Jonathan Frost. You don't feel emotion. You don't like sugar and spice and everything nice. Like,
it's kind of cute, though, because when he opens, like, the center console, he's like, there's M&M, mint M&Ms, and he's like, yeah, they're disgusting. And she's like, why did you get them then? He's like,
because I felt bad that I didn't tell you about the meeting that I was going to tell you about, but I wasn't going to tell you a week early because I know you get anxious, which is exactly what she thought in her mind before. It's like, but I forgot, and I felt bad, and I went to the store super early and bought you candy, and then I was like, why the hell did I buy her candy? There's not enough M&Ms in the world to make up for my fuck up. And she was really moved by it. And it's funny because she was like quiet, grabs the M&Ms, opens them, and eats like half of them at once. And he's like, damn, like you need to slow down.
He's like, are you okay?
Gabby, can you hear me? She just ate a bunch of them. And then he turns on the heater and points them all at her because she's cold. She's so small. Put her in your butt. She's small, girl.
Yeah, she is small.
Oh my gosh. And he takes her home, and the entire time she's just completely turned on by this man. So she's just
always turned on.
She's just having her own little crisis while he's just like, I'm just trying to get you home, bitch. Damn. But
wasn't it before this moment when they had like this, they were like arguing about something, and then I think she said something that kind of made him like, whoa, I've heard that before.
Yes.
Right?
It was after they had a big fight, and okay, I'll get back to the car ride. Well, should I finish that since I'm almost done with it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so car ride happens, they get home, she's completely turned on, and they're outside, and he's acting different, like nicer. And it does have to do with the fact that when they were at work, she revealed what her favorite romance novel was. And for some weird reason, he was like, wait a minute. Tell me your other favorites. Tell me all of them.
All of your top.
And it wasn't even asking. It was like a command. She was like, okay, here's all of them. And he like freaks out. And as the readers, it's very easily assumed that he is Mr. Reddit.
Yeah, because I think the night before they had a discussion about romance. Or I think she revealed that when they were first just talking, that she talked to him about all of her favorite romance novels. And then he started to read some of them.
And it like hurts my heart because Mr. Reddit messages her and is like, yeah, work is hard. It's very stressful, but I just really love my job and the people in it, you know? And then she's over here like, oh, yeah, my job's cool, but I hate this bitch that I work with. Oh, God, he's annoying.
It's so funny how different they are, huh?
I know. And then he's the one who brings up as Mr. Reddit, like, I want to meet you and I want to get to know you and I don't want to be a creep, but, like, if this could ever be something more, then I want it to be something more. And she was like, no, I feel the exact same way. So she's super into Mr. Reddit. Flash forward to where we were at after the car ride, being super turned on by Jonathan. He's over here being so sweet to her, takes her out of the car. And I don't think they say anything. I think they're literally just looking at each other. And she talks about the fact that they're making eye contact. And the eye contact is him going like, I want to do this. And hers is like, I need this too. And they just make out. Dude, I thought the writing was so good.
Yeah, I really cared about both of them. And especially when they finally had that moment and they kissed, I was like, fuck, finally, damn.
Yeah. And then he pulls away and says, fuck, I shouldn't have done this yet.
Yeah, not yet, he says.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't understand what he means by that.
But she just runs back to her place.
Mm-hmm. And was it that night when she talks to Mr. Reddit, they basically agree, like, yeah, let's meet, because she's conflicted. Like, she's like, I'm in love with Mr. Reddit, but I'm falling for Jonathan, I think. But I should probably meet Mr. Reddit to, make sure.
Mm-hmm.
And so they agree that they're going to wait a certain day to meet each other.
But then also, while they're waiting, they shouldn't talk to each other until the holidays are over, only because it, like kind of resets and you get to meet a new person. So she's down for this, but she's like, oh my God, who do I choose?
It's also because they're both very stressed with
work.
But don't you think that's a little crazy, Cheli? Like, what do you think about online romances?
I don't mind online romances. I just think it's kind of, for me personally, and I think it would be the same for her too, because she is demisexual, and there are just some people that prefer to make a connection in person rather than online. Mm-hmm. And she seems like that type of person.
Yeah.
So to me, I know that Mr. Reddit was really nice to her, but I didn't really see the romantic
part of it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just the fact that they talked every day.
Especially because Jonathan isn't really, like, super forthcoming with romance. Like, he's not really like, let me give you the world, or let me, I don't know, like, he's not very romantic.
Yeah.
I think the nice things that he was doing was just reading her books, which is really nice, don't get me wrong, but it's not like wow, he really likes me, I'm gonna fall in love with him,
as Mr. Reddit. But with Jonathan, everything he does is always like with the attention that he wants to make it as comfortable for her as possible.
Yeah, because he notices her like so well. And
I like how it mentioned that when she's in a room and he's about to walk in, he knocks just so that like she knows what to expect, so it's not caught off guard. And he does that a lot.
Yeah, he does. He's very considerate.
I'm gonna skip a few things because I'm only really gonna talk about like the major points. So with the title of the book, it's called The Mistletoe Motive.
Yeah.
After that kiss that they share, she's like, this bitch. He is trying to freaking win me over sexually, that bitch, so that he can take my fucking job. I know it. There's no other reason why he would be nice to me.
But also, like, keep in mind, nothing happened for her to come to this conclusion. She just got there herself.
In her mind, she's like, you know what? Two can play at this game. So she wears the sexiest dress that she has.
Which I think is the dress on the cover, which I don't think...
It's a cute dress.
But would you call it sexy,
No,
though?
I would call it like I'm going to go to an interview.
Yeah.
You know? Or Christmas caroling.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And even she says that she likes to look nice, but also comfortable. So when I think sexy, I think like showing off the collarbone or showing off shoulders.
That V-neck is like right at her ussy. Like that is not a sexy ass dress.
It wasn't though.
It wasn't. So she goes to work in her sexy ass dress and is like, this fucking bitch, she's gonna fucking pay. But while she's walking, crashes into Trey, who's like, babe,
did you not get my 1,000 roses? Oh my god. What about my phone calls or my text messages?
I love you so much, babe. I'm so sorry for what happened, but you're the one, babe. And you know, he's like over here like not letting her walk away because she tries, and he holds onto her wrist. And that's when fucking Jonathan just comes fucking
BAM!
Pulls him apart. Yeah. And he automatically looks at her and is like, did he hurt you? Like, are you okay?
That is so fucking sweet. Hate his name, but love that man.
But this Trey tries, you know, like, hey, I'm trying to talk to Gabby. And he pushes him towards the wall and walks her to work. Meanwhile, like, every once in a while, like, looking back at Trey, like, fuck you, bitch. Like, keeps walking. And then they get back, and both of them are like, we need to talk. It's like, yeah, we should talk. So they go to the back room. And at that point, she's like, why the fuck did I wear this dress?
Oh, yeah.
Why did I wear this dress?
I forgot
Oh
that
my
she was
God.
wearing that sexy dress.
So she's over here like sitting in like a big sweater, and it's funny because it describes him walking into the back room, and she's like, I just gotta face him. Takes off the sweater and turns around, and then it's the new chapter, and he's like, Gabby, what do you think you were? And he like turns
He
around.
literally pauses and is like, whoa, that's a sexy ass dress.
No, but it's funny because he pauses and then just goes like, oh my God, and turns around and like hits his head on like the door frame. And then she's like, are you good? Like, are you okay? And he's like, I'm going to answer your question with another question. Are you good? Like, what's going on? And they basically have a heart to heart where I think at this point they want a truce. Like they want to be friends. There's no point in them hating on each other.
Even though he's like, I never hated you.
Yeah, but she was like, I may have misunderstood situations, and I just want you to know
And
that.
I think at this point she tells him, right, that sometimes she can't really tell how he's feeling.
Yeah.
So she's like, I kind of just can't read you very well.
Do they reveal each other's thing at this point?
I don't remember if it's at this point or not.
I'm going to move pretty quick through this, but they have a lot of heart-to-hearts in the back room. But I think this heart-to-heart, I'm sorry if I'm wrong, she reveals that she's autistic. So things are a little more difficult for her to understand. And he's just like, that makes sense. And honestly, it helps me be more aware of how I'm acting. So it's probably not a really good feeling for me to be so serious around you, you know?
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, I have to reveal mine. He said that he had a type 1 diabetes. So a lot of his times when he's had to just leave the room or been grumpy is because his blood sugar was too low or too high and he had to sit down for a bit. And he's had to do his insulin shots or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's just like, oh, that describes why you sat in the car and just looked at your phone. It's probably something on your phone. And he's like, yeah, it is.
Yeah, because I think she was upset about him ignoring her in that moment or something like that.
But I really liked how at the end of this conversation, it was like, we'll be friends. We're going to be friends, okay? And I think they shake on it. I don't remember.
Yeah, they do.
And then they're standing right under a mistletoe. And he's like having a really hard time. And so is she. But he's like, how do we stay friends if all I want to do is kiss you? Dude, this boy's gonna fuck me up. I would have been like, nah, you're right. You're right. Forget what I said about friendship.
Did I say friendship?
I did not mean that.
Wait.
Mr. Reddit, who?
You misheard me.
I fucking...
But then she reveals to him, no, that she wants something with him, but she's like in love with someone else.
Yeah, because throughout the story, basically, we get to a point where, well, I guess we should first say the reason it's named Mistletoe Motive is because that was the whole point. She thought that he was trying to win her over sexually. And it's like, yeah, that's your mistletoe motive. That's why you put the mistletoe there first, bitch. And that was her whole thing. But it was like, no.
Yeah. She wasn't understanding the situation.
But just the whole story in general. This story is basically just them trying to run this bookstore, but every once in a while just being really sweet to each other. And like he's very... It's funny because all of the friends are like, oh yeah, he's the bitch. He's the one that you really hate. And every time any of her friends came over, it was like, he's really sweet.
Yeah.
How
like,
is this?
Wait.
This is not the same guy you were talking about. And it's funny because they would come in angry. And she was like, we have a truce. We have a truce. Just to let
We're
you
friends
know.
now. Calm down.
And they're such cute friends. The fact that like her friends would be like, you haven't eaten yet? And Jonathan was like, I know, bitch. That's what I told her.
Yeah.
So it was really sweet that there was just so much care for her and so much consideration for her. This book got me in its clutches. I feel like I've been talking a lot. What do you think?
I really liked the book. I felt like I really connected with the characters. And I also really loved how it was so upfront with her being autistic and being demisexual.
Yeah.
Like, I liked that it was like, this is what's happening. and this is why like she's always wearing those earmuffs. And I was like, oh my god, yeah, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense that she gets like overloaded with the sensory, or just like, you know, not being able to just work at a retail job where she needs to talk about like literally anything in the store, you know. Like her focus is books. She loves books, and I really liked the characters, especially Jonathan. I really like Jonathan.
Oh my gosh. Something about, I think the reason why he's such a good book boyfriend like fits that in a rom-com type setting, contemporary, right?
Yeah.
It's just how considerate he is with everything she does. And I can't, like, it gets to me when she'll literally do something and he'll just be like, just give me a minute. Like, you know, like, oh, you're just so much. I can't.
I also really loved that he, even when he realized who she was, that, you know, that he had been talking to her, he didn't like stop her from going to meet up with Mr. Reddit, which is him. He was kind of like, okay, well, let's let it happen then.
And that whole conversation when it's revealed that like she likes someone online, he's like, you have to pursue this person, like you have to let them know you. And then he's like, well, me too, actually, I like this person online, but I'm scared that if I meet her, I won't meet the expectations that she has. And then she basically like hypes him up, like, you are the sweetest guy, and if someone doesn't like you for all of your flaws, then fucking let me at them, bitch. And he's like, okay, fine, you're right. And so then they go outside because they're closing the store, and this is the day before Christmas, so they're not gonna see each other for a bit. And he's like, okay, let me walk you home. And she's like, why? You don't have to do that. And he's like, no, I want to do that. And she walks with her noise-canceling headphones, so he didn't disturb that. She put them on, and they just walked together. And that was really sweet. And when they get to her house, it's funny because to her, she, you know, all her fucking wet dreams, she's like, I could just take them inside. I could do that.
She's like, this is what my dream was about.
This is just like my dream.
He took me home, and I led him to my bedroom. Like, it would be so easy. It would be so easy.
But then they say bye to each other. And he's like, oh, well, good luck with Mr. Reddit guy. And she goes back into the house, takes a nap, whatever, and is having her wet dreams, you know, every Wednesday. And in the dream, she realizes she never told him that the guy she was talking to
was named Mr. Reddit. And he let it slip during their conversation about like, oh, you know, you have to meet Mr. Reddit or whatever he said. And then in her dream, she was like, holy fuck, it's him.
And the next day she's going to work and she's running there because she really like, you know, this is a lot. And I think she forgot her noise canceling headphones. So when she walks in, she hears a little snippet of a conversation that Bailey, one of the Baileys, is having with Jonathan. And it's like, if we tell Gabriella, she's gonna be mad about what we have to do, but we have to do it for the store. And then she like heard it, freaks out, and runs out. And mid-run, she goes like, wait a minute, why am I nervous? Like, I have nothing to be nervous about. And Jonathan immediately catches up and is like, I am so sorry what you heard. I want you to know everything's okay. And she's like, yeah, I know. I trust you. I don't think anything's happening. And he's like, really? You're good with it?
He's like, are you sure? Because you're fired.
I know, that's actually what we were talking about, bitch. Here's your last paycheck. But he basically said, I thought this reveal was so funny because I thought he was quitting. I thought that they hadn't raised the money and that's what it was leading to.
Yeah.
Or like he was going to work somewhere else. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
at the other one.
Yeah.
The other bookstore.
Peace out. Trey asked me out, bitch.
Actually, Trey was in love with you, but he, you know, I realized he was really lonely, and so we talked a little bit.
So then he's like, I'm sorry, Gabs. No. Sorry.
She didn't like that.
No.
Trey called
Gabby.
her that.
I love you so much, and I know how much you love books. But what if they were ebooks, bitch? She's like, what?
She's like,
don't you
ebooks?
Don't you dare say that to my face. Meanwhile, we both read this on an ebook.
I know. Sorry, Gabriella.
But he was like, it's a way for us to continue to make money, modernize, but still keep like the home feeling that this bookstore has.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, that's a great idea. And then we can both stay at the bookstore.
He was like, well, our jobs were never threatened, but okay.
Yeah. So then she's like, well, I would stay at the bookstore because they were about to walk back. But she's like, but I got a date. And he's like, oh, I actually also have a date. Crazy, right?
Crazy coincidence.
And then she's like, well, where's your date going to be at? And he says the exact time and location that he or she had said to Mr. Reddit. Mm-hmm. And then she just gets super happy and jumps at him and kisses him. Wait, what Christmas song did they have in that chapter? It's a holly. It's like completely like does not fit the situation. Dude, how'd you feel?
I loved it. I kind of wish the reveal would have happened at like the actual location, but it's fine. I'll get over it.
I am glad it happened that way. I can't with the fact. Could you imagine if he was just like, okay, see you later, walking the same way?
They both go the same way. She's like, all right. That would have been kind of funny though, where she's just looking at him like, why are you going this way?
If he didn't want like them to be there at the same time, it's like, okay, I gotta go to my date, but I am gonna sprint there. So can you please just give me like a 2-minute head start?
Oh yeah. He goes all the way around.
I am glad it happened this way. I prefer that it happened this way. It's less cringy to me.
Okay.
But the fact that they were like, it happened so quick because they were like, you know what? Maybe we should relocate our date. Mm-hmm. And maybe relocate it to a place where there's maybe a bed and no one that can disturb us for like a fortnight. Yeah, I'm just saying. You know, what if? And he's like, no, yeah, I totally agree. So they go to his house. Mm-hmm. Well, first they go to her house to, like, grab clothes because she's basically going to be spending the night for a couple of days. Mm-hmm. And then she walks in there, and her roommates are both there. And it's funny because it's like, oh, my God, Jonathan is Mr. Reddit, and we're about to have sex. So I'm going to go. I'll tell you more later. Love you guys.
I love you. Bye.
So then she goes to Jonathan's house, and literally the last 2 chapters of this book is just spice. How'd you feel about the spice? You don't remember? Dude, he's over here fucking carrying her and shit. And it's like, I got you, babe. His pull-out bed that he brings down. You don't remember because he lives in a studio apartment? Mm-mm. And she was like, oh my God, so strong. So strong and so small.
I'm so small and tiny, and he's so big and buff.
Like, throws her on the bed. Dude, the spice?
I don't think I read the spice. I think I was like too much on a time crunch that I was like, okay,
it was just skip. So good.
Really? Top tier?
I thought it was really good. The only thing that bothers me is the fact that I had to wait until the end of the book to read the spice. Like, I wish it would have been, they didn't have to have sex, but I wish it would have been like thrown in throughout the story, because it just kind of feels like
it's a
sex
slope.
The end. You know, it's like,
I mean, we get that with telenovelas, but it's wedding, the end.
Yeah, I'm not down for that type of,
I think it was stories. Cute though, because it's more of like a slow burn.
Really?
I think it's kind of cute. I mean, I kind of agree with you, sure, but this was a novella, so
yeah, I guess that's true. After they have sex, they're sitting there, and then he starts getting kind of emotional. And she's like, Beba, already pet names. What's wrong? It's like, it's crazy to me to think that we wouldn't have had this had we not like done one thing that we did throughout our entire time together. Like, if I had not played at that hockey game, or if I had not done this. And then she starts to get very emotional and is just kind of like, well, it's okay because we are together and you are Mr. Reddit and you guys are one. I didn't have to choose. And and she like pauses because she doesn't want to say I love you because she feels like that'll scare him. And it's like, and I really appreciate who you are as a person. And then he's like, I love you, bitch. And she's like, oh my God, I love you too. Like, it's like they just both had to say it. And then they just love each other. I didn't know this had an epilogue.
Yes. So in the epilogue, we find out that, first of all, they're married. Love that for them. And also, they ended up buying Bailey's bookstore. That was that was his gift to her. And she's just like, how am I ever going to compete with that? You know, like, how am I ever going to, like, outdo that? And he's like, Gabriella, love of my life, you already have. And she said, oh, he said, Gabriella, love of my life, you already have. She says, what gift is that? And he says, you. That's how the epilogue ends. I really liked the epilogue. I thought it was really, really cute.
I'm reading it right now. Oh, everything you say to me.
Okay, Cheli?
No.
Cheli.
That's so good.
It's so cute, huh? I really like this novella. I thought it was a really good romance.
I am complete. You told me that people who like the hating game would like this book. Mm-hmm. You're completely right.
I knew it. I didn't. Well, it wasn't. That didn't come from me. That came from like the excerpt, I think.
Dude,
which Cheli loves the hating game.
I just love considerate men. Which honestly, in the hating game, he was a little less considerate. This
man
top tier
was more considerate.
He's top tier. He loved her so much, dude.
It's okay.
I'll cry.
Don't cry. It's okay.
Okay, I think this is a 5 out of 5 Christmas read. I don't think it would be on my book of the years, but I already recommended this book to someone, actually.
You did?
Yeah, I recommended it to my friend Jessica, who started reading this year because of this podcast.
Oh my God, no way.
So, Jessica, if you're out
That's
there,
amazing.
It's such a good book.
I love recommending books to people who I know will actually read it.
I know. It's okay.
Let's start crying.
I know. Are there people that you've recommended books to and it's like you lent them the book and it's like weird? I remember owning that book.
No.
Oh, dude, I
don't do that.
I lent one of my books to a coworker and I took a video of like how many books I have in my library. And she was like, "Oh, remember the one you lent me to?" I'm like, "That's not my book anymore, bitch."
What book was it?
Silent Patient.
Oh.
I lent her Silent Patient. So it's like, I'm not losing much.
You're like,
but
no, it's yours. You loved that book. Don't.
I know, but it's not like I lent her like fucking
Heartstopper.
Yeah, dude, wait, that stays with me. I have it in a glass case. Like when a fire happens, at least I'm gonna die reading this book.
I'm gonna die happy. You're just like flipping through the pages.
But this book was just so good.
This was a really good Christmas story. It also gave me like a Hallmark feel to it, but really, really good.
Yeah, bitch.
I think I would give it a 4.
Okay, I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't talk about well, it's a small thing, but I just really like how much he likes her and the moments where he has to go like, fuck. Like, I gotta take a moment.
Yeah.
Because there was one part where they were sitting in the car when they were driving, where he was driving her home, and he just goes like, Siri, holiday music. And she's like, oh my God, you just say shit like that? And they let you? That's allowed?
Yeah.
And he's like, what are you talking about? It's like, you have that commanding, like, bedroom voice. And he made a comment like, it's not like I asked Siri to get on her knees. And she was like, I'm gone. I'm jumping out the window.
She's like, you don't have to ask her, but you can ask me.
And it was funny because both of them just sat there like, it was,
they're like, so much do we have to call HR? Do we need to call HR?
Bitch, I am HR. Like, call HR on myself. Call the Baileys. Mom, Dad.
Mom, Dad. Oh my God.
I like I said, I really love this book, and I would probably read more books from this author. If this is the type of shit she delivers, hell yeah.
I'm down.
Ella Thorpe. Oh my gosh. Wrong author. Sorry, we do a lot of these in bulk. Chloe Liese.
Yes.
Sorry. Oh my gosh. I said Ella Thorpe throughout the video. Sorry.
No, you didn't.
I think I did. I think I mentioned it twice.
Oh damn, I didn't hear you.
Sorry, Chloe. You're amazing, Chloe. Love you, Chloe.
Just voiceover.
Yeah, I might. But for those of you who are listening, thank you so much. If you can please, hello. For those of you who are listening, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcasts on, thank you so much. If you can please leave a rating of 5 stars, because that's so cool. And it's also super easy to do. Like, all you have to do is like go to our page and click 5 stars.
And it definitely helps us out a lot. I feel like it shares our page more.
Yeah, it does. So it would be so nice if
we've
you did
noticed
that.
a difference.
If you also want to leave a review, you can do that, and also recommend us what you want us to read next, because we don't know what we're gonna read for January. We're like blank, so that would be super cool. If you want to help us monetarily, what can they do?
We do have a Patreon, which at the moment there's really nothing on there. Not much anyway, just a little bit, but we're going to do better. You can find us on patreon.com/bookfix. But if you don't want the commitment of monthly, we do have buymeacoffee.com/thebookfix or Ko-fi, which is ko-fi.com/thebookfix.
And if you are watching us on YouTube, thank you so much. If you can like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because we post every Tuesday and Thursday. If you want to follow us on social media, we do have an Instagram and a Threads at the Book Fix Pod. Oh my gosh, do you hear my stomach? I'm so hungry.
Me too.
Okay. Or at the Book Fix Pod, THEBOOKFIXPOD. Or you can follow us on TikTok at the Book Fix, THEBOOKFIX.
I think we should read reviews.
I'll read a bad one.
Okay. I'll read a positive review. Okay, so this review comes from Ren. They gave it 5 out of 5, and they wrote, "The Mistletoe Motive has become my go-to comfort read. I first read this book back in June during a stressful period in my life, and this book was the perfect escape. I loved the simmering tension between Jonathan and Gabby. I loved their witty conversations. I loved their jabs. I loved everything about this book. And this book gets bonus points because that epilogue was chef's kiss. Sure, it's a lot like The Hating Game, but I'm not complaining because I love that book too. If you're in the mood for a book with the same sort of tropes but with some neurodivergent representation, book-loving characters, and cozy winter vibes, I highly recommend this one."
This is from V Hates You. Okay. 1 out of 5 stars, and wrote, "This book could have been my 13th reason."
Oh my god.
Nah, just kidding. But seriously, this is deadass a copy and paste of The Hating Game. And I hate The Hating Game. Like, with my whole heart and soul, I hate The Hating Game. Everything about this book was cliche and so boring. The smut was cringe. The romance made me want to puke. The plot was boring. I'm sorry, but everything about this book was terrible. I really tried to give this book the benefit of the doubt, but like, no, thank you. It also doesn't help that it took me a fucking lifetime to finish it. If I had a physical copy of this book, I'd gladly give it away for free. But in all fairness, it just wasn't my style. If you like The Hating Game, then by all means, take the bloody book and read it. But if you don't, simply run away. So he gives a bunch of quotes, and one of the quotes is, "Now my smile mirrors his. I'm here. We just had amazing sex. What did I do to deserve that? Have I been naughty or nice?" Sigh. It would have been fine if she had just left it at, "We had amazing sex." Like, man, you are not doing yourself any good with these terrible quotes. Imagine asking someone after sex, "Have I been naughty or nice?" Like, you might as well add "daddy" or "my sugar plum sweet cakes" while you're at it. Oh my gosh. Anyways, enough said. Decide your fate, people. Okay, bye. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Okay. Let's eat fucking pozole. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, even though we have Christmas behind us.
And let's go get drunk.
We're gonna get drunk on this beautiful.
Not any specific day.
Not any specific
Yes,
day.
we are.